Come to the Waimāero Fendalton-Waimairi-Harewood Community Board, Chair David Cartwright and Bridget Williams as well. Good to see both of you this morning. We look forward to hearing your verbal submission.
Thank you very much. It's a similar process. Our board had a submissions committee that Bridget chaired. I'll address our submission first, and between Bridget and ourselves we'll be able to answer questions at the end. Look, I'm not here to read our submission to you verbatim. You can all read that yourselves, but there are several points I wish to address. First of all, the board does acknowledge the hard work that the councillors, the staff, the chief executive have all done on bringing us to a point of reviewing the proposed plan, etc. A lot of hard work, but actually the journey has only just begun. The effects of COVID-19 and the downturn in the economy will be with us for some time. The board does note that the Christchurch City Council and its residents face uncertain financial times going forward, and we wish to express our disappointment that a zero increase was not put forward or presented as an option. The Community Board supports and encourages proactive fiscal prudence at this time going forward, and still believes a zero rates increase could have been achieved. Our Community Board does not seek any additional increases in operational or capital spend going forward, or for this year. One of the other, just regarding the points for the targeted water increase, we're neutral to positive on that. We do, however, want to raise the concern that many properties within Christchurch work off 1 metre. So there might be 2 or 3 households off one, so that is something that would need to be addressed prior to any levy or fee being brought in. Glyphosate, we're happy with the use of that to save money, although we have had an issue raised in our ward where a park was sprayed at about 2:45 before school broke out next door. So we do ask that for an operational policy that the timing of the use of it in our parks is in a sensible way, or not directly before school breaks out. The one-off increase to the Strengthening Communities Fund, I ask that common sense prevails. The COVID-19 has uniformly affected New Zealand. It should not be prorated on any other formula than residence-based or population-based. Level or impact of service. Look, we are obviously very aware that everything in the city will change. However, we don't want that to be an excuse for not delivering. My feeling is, or our feeling is, that that could become a very common excuse that for not doing something, it's just blamed on, oh, there's a cutback on the city. We're not doing that. And it becomes an apathy amongst a number of people. So we're very concerned and ask the Chief Executive to be cautious of that. We ask the Council to embrace new technologies and to not be afraid to re-look at things. We give the example of the big belly bins, and we'll all know in business, in the world of business, the example of the NASA pen, where they spent $1 million designing a pen to work in space, where the Russians just took a pencil. So let's just use our Kiwi ingenuity and do things properly. I'd also like to reiterate the point that was made earlier around setting clear expectations. We've had examples in our city where we do master plans, but we have no money to back it up. The messaging from around this table and from this chamber has to actually be very clear, very honest, and very balanced. We have to ensure that our residents know and understand what our limitations are, and without that, we are failing our communities. I also ask that the Chief Executive have a strict and have a very stern look at our procurement practices. We've had examples, recent examples in our community board where things have been designed, changed, designed again, changed, and designed again and changed. and it's a waste of council money, it's a waste of time, and it just frustrates our residents. It's not acceptable, and we ask that that is given a business lens, to use that term. I'll leave it at that. I'm happy to answer questions.
Great, thank you for leaving time for some questions. So we've got Anne and then Pauline. Anne.
Thank you for that. So you're requesting, you're not supportive of zero, you are supportive of a zero rates increase.
Yes.
And you're also seeing that the current financial situation isn't an excuse for not providing quality service. They seem to be a little bit mutually exclusive, and I'm just wondering if you've got thoughts about how the organisation could deal with that.
Okay, I'll give you an example. So outside our golden child of the River City Market, you can go out there on a Sunday afternoon and you can see the rubbish bins overloaded with rubbish not being emptied. And I have seen and taken photos and put requests for service in for those to be done on a regular basis. Now, are they not being emptied because the guy driving the truck can't be bothered, or he's gone for smoko early? Who would know? Or are they because we should actually just be installing another rubbish bin there, or a bigger rubbish bin? I don't know. But that is, if our residents go around and see rubbish bins or parks not cut, or the grass is not cut, or weeds not pulled, or whatever the example is, and just go, or our messaging is, well, we're not doing that because there's a cutback. Where actually it was just the incompetence of a person not doing it, then that is the risk that I see, that it becomes an extreme negative for our council, and that we do not deliver on what we're saying we've got to do. So we've got to be very careful, very mindful, and approach it in a cautious way to ensure that what we say we're going to do, we do, and we have the strong vigour and to be able to deliver it.
Thank you. Pauline.
Oh, yes, I just wanted to come back to your comments on glyphosate, and you support the cessation of the organic.
Yes, I support saving money for our city.
And you support returning to glyphosate, and yet you also say that we recommend you don't spray it around parks where school children are coming out at the same time. Is that because you recognise there's an adverse health effect?
No,
glyphosate?
I recognise that the community, or some of our community, believe there's information out there that it has a harmful effect, and so let's work with them and put the spraying timetable at a period of time that does not work into their fears.
Right, just in case there is some truth
if they
in
have
that.
those fears, let's work with them.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sarah, and then I've got Mike and Sam if there's time. Sarah.
Thank you. I'm just to note the desire for sort of the low rates and the no additional spend in your area, and yet you have asked for some enhanced sort of rubbish collection and those kind of operational expenditure and better ways of doing those, like the big belly bins and things, which do cost more and operational to install and more outside the fish and chip shop and those kind of things. So that actually increases our operational spending.
If you've got one rubbish bin that has a capacity of, let's say, 100 litres versus a rubbish bin that's 50 litres, and you're having to have a person go and empty it twice, surely the labour to empty a rubbish bin twice is twice as much. Yes, there might be it might be a capital spend to put a larger rubbish bin in, but if the operational costs can be driven down, if there are some efficiencies and some efficiencies that can be driven through the organisation, then that's what we're asking.
Yeah, so it's okay to invest a little bit more up front to be able to make some efficiencies and savings going forward.
I beg your pardon?
Sorry, it's okay to invest a little bit more up front to make sure things are a bit more...
If there is a means of a long-term availability of doing it, yes, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, that's great, thanks.
Thank you. That leaves time for one very quick question and very quick answer. Mike.
It should be quick. I just read through your paragraphs about strengthening communities funds, but you don't actually say if you support increasing it?
Well, it's obviously $300,000 that the council's got to find from somewhere.
Yeah, I know. But
I support the fact that there are organisations within the community.
No, that's not. I'm not. Do you support council doing a 5% increase in that fund? I can ask Bridget actually. Bridget, do you support?
Yes, we do support it, but obviously just looking at it from a lens that COVID-19 has affected everyone, so we just ask that it is distributed in that fair manner.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks very much indeed for joining us this morning. Thanks for the submission.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you.